Hello, my name is John Swearingen Jr. and I am the director of the Museum of Fulton County. And today I want to give you a little tour of Wauseon and the history of the organization. This group goes way back to 1861. Civil War was over in 1865, and in 1867 Colonel Howard, who was our founder of the organization, with pioneers from Fulton County, formed a group to build this monument. This is stone from Indiana that was brought here to this site, and we are on a hill. This is the highest spot in Wauseon, and there was a fight over where this monument would be positioned. But this spot was picked because this was a brand new subdivision going into Wauseon. All the homes you see around the park, which is called North Park now, and it was originally called Monumental Park, all these houses were built in 1868, the same time as the park was established. And so this spot was voted on by the people of Fulton County as the spot for the Civil War monument. The top part that you see was not here in the beginning. It wasn't completed until 1911 when a young man died and his parents dedicated the top of the statue to him. This is a cavalry officer from the 10th Cavalry in the Civil War, and he is looking, if you look at his gaze, he is looking directly to the south where the soldiers from the Civil War passed away. And so that's why the memorial is positioned the way it is. So from here, this pioneer organization then formed what we knew as the Fulton County Pioneer Society. And that's the next step in the story where we'll go to next. So in the late 1960s, the Historical Society moved to this location. Ruth Campbell Brown was one of the trustees of the Historical Society at that time, and she was living in this building on one side and renting the opposite side out. And when she passed away, she left this building to us. And this marker here was created in 1969 to officially open this building as the county museum. So here in the upstairs of the museum, you can see the way we had the room set up when we were here as a museum. These are pieces all from Fulton County's history. We even had Barney Oldfield's mother's purses over in that corner over there, and changed out these quilts on the bed at that time period. So this was our only way until 2018 when we moved to the new building to display our artifacts. And now you will see the parlor and the dining room as we've restored it. This is the way the building looked in the 1950s, 60s when Mrs. Campbell lived here. And she lived on this side of the building and was an avid antiques collector even before she was a member of the Historical Society. So a lot of the pieces you're seeing in here are her personal collection that she left to the museum when she passed away in 1971. So in the 1950s, Judge Van Buren and Ruth Campbell and a bunch of other people in town got together to revive the Pioneer Historical Society and rename the group the Fulton County Historical Society. And the room I'm standing in right now is where our little museum started. This is the square room underneath the tower of the 1870s Courthouse. You can see outside the front window here, that's right above the staircase on the outside of the building. And this, you can see it's not a very large space. And the display cabinet that we have in our current research room was in this upper floor of the courthouse, and that held our small amount of artifacts. And we gave tours for people as they wanted to come through the building, and had didn't really have regular 9 to 5 hours like a normal museum does today. But it was a start for this group. And the point is that in 1969, when we received the other building, the room above me was full of artifacts from the pioneers that had passed away, and we didn't know where to put these objects. So this whole room above me was full of artifacts. So in the courtroom here, we have some paintings that were created after our Historical Society was started, and these have recently been restored. The one on the left is supposed to be the Battle of Fallen Timbers, but the artist accidentally made the uniforms of the French army rather than the English. And the middle painting is showing the Native Americans, the Potawatomi here in Fulton County, seeing their first log cabin that's been built by the settlers. And then the last painting on the right is showing the 18th century when the French fur traders were here trading with the Native Americans on the Maumee River. So the Pioneer Association, formed in 1883 by Colonel Howard guidance, and this meetings were held twice a year. In the winter months, they came here to the courthouse. They used this courtroom, and the chairs you see in the back are the actual original chairs. And they would have a seminar similar to what you would see today, where different people were speaking on the history of Fulton County and their family history. And then also they would have some musicians playing instruments, and they would have a break for lunch and come back and have another session in the afternoon. And then the summer months, we'll see where they would go and have their picnic every year. So, when I was in the courthouse, I talked to you about what they did in the winter months for their meeting of the Pioneer Association. And here is where they came in the summer. I'm here at the Fulton County Fairgrounds, and on the very spot where the Pioneer picnics were held in the summer every year. And although there's no tablecloth set out here for a picnic, we do have the site of where the first log cabin was built by the pioneers. This was in 1885. The children of the first founders of Fulton County brought one tree from their farm, and they hewn the logs and built a replica of a typical 1830s log cabin on this spot right here. It didn't last maybe 20, 25 years, and it fell down, and this concrete building replaced it and became the office for the fairgrounds. It's right on the main axis of the midway here at the fairgrounds. And then behind me is this curious looking rock garden that is still here today, and it is the remnants of the Pioneer Garden. The pioneers not only brought a log from their farm, but also brought a field stone from one of their fields. So all the stones you see behind me are from pioneers' farmsteads all over Fulton County, and this is still being maintained today at the fair for you to come and see. So here at the Fulton County Fairgrounds, we see the site of our historic buildings. At the time period of the bicentennial in 1976, history became very fashionable for all of America, learning the history of your area. And so during the 70s and 80s, we worked on restoring the depot in downtown Wauseon and moving this building. This is the reared blacksmith shop from Delta, Ohio, and the cabin from Chesterfield Township, and that is the Canfield cabin that was constructed in 1838 when the Native Americans were still living here, and moved one log at a time. Everything was numbered, and hopefully we'll do another video on that one and show you a lot more detail of the inside of it.